We're back with a weekday update. A Florida mail lady was arrested for a DUI after stopping at a house party and taking shots with one of the customers on her route. She was later seen swerving back and forth and driving on the wrong side of the road. She was later released when it was determined that the erratic driving had nothing to do with being intoxicated, as the reports came from hours before the incident.
Pope Francis has died. Leadership of the church released a statement that they are finding comfort knowing that he is with God in heaven now, and that hopefully with naming a successor, they can get back to hating women and gays.
Speaking of, the restaurant chain Hooters has filed for bankruptcy due to pressure from current market conditions. Conditions include high inflation, rising food costs, and those are the only reasons.
Kanye West released a new song called Cousins, along with a statement admitting that he performed fellatio on his cousin until he was 14. When reached for comment, the cousin recalled a moment when Kanye stopped and said, "I'm gonna let you finish, but Grandma makes the greatest sweet potato pie of all time." There's now speculation that his mouth being wired shut was not due to a car crash. Welcome back to Attempted Delivery.
Shawn, Dick and Cheese.
Welcome back, Stamp Tramps. I just figured we'd start the episode with one of my favorite Pope Francis quotes, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Right, this is Pope Francis. I sucked my cousin's dick till I was 14. That's how I was going to start the episode. And then you're like, I got jokes about Pope Francis and Kanye. And I'm like,
I just
all right,
stepped on
that's fine. It's well worth it.
Yeah, what's up with your boy?
Dude, you got to stop calling him my boy. My former boy. The artist formerly known as
Your boy?
Straight.
Which is fine, no shame in that. But I mean, like, I don't know, cousins, and if he was 14, how old was the cousin?
I think
they're
6.
Probably both on. Oh wow, that's a
I
big
think they were
difference.
both 6.
I mean, they're both
Or something.
underage. Well, he said until he was 14. Well, yeah, I guess. How old were they?
I don't know, dude.
What's the age
I don't even
difference?
know if it's true. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about any of this.
My favorite thing is like how two completely different news sources can approach the same headline
Did they?
different ways.
I mean, I get other headlines, but this headline?
it's the same headline. It's just how they approach it.
Oh, okay.
So one was just, Ye admits to having a sexual relationship with his cousin on new song, Cousin. And the other one was just, Black Nazi rapper Ye admits gay and sexual relationship with cousin.
All right, that one's a little harsh.
Right. It's just wild. Like,
He's not a black Nazi rapper. He's a rapper
who
who's
happens to be black and a
and
Nazi.
is a Nazi.
So yeah, it's just funny how like two completely different news organizations can headline the same story two completely different ways.
I want to see the pro cousin incest angle. Yeah, no, it's a rough one.
Have you heard the song? Is it any good?
No, I don't even know where to hear. It's not on Spotify or whatever. I don't think. I didn't actually. Now that you say that, I haven't even looked. But
Right.
he usually releases his music like its own place, like on his website or something.
Which is it behind a paywall or something?
Sometimes I don't know. He's all over the place.
I could see that happening. It's like how can I put the most salacious headline out attached to the song to make everyone go pay for it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That was one of the reasons. That was one of the things that made me.
Or is he such a genius that he was playing the long game when going down on his cousin? Like 30, 40 years from now, I can release a song about this.
It's gonna be the most banging song ever.
I'm a genius.
I'm a genius. I'm an incest genius. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know. Boy, literally. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about him. I know that was one of the things that like originally bothered me. Like that one of the things that like made me stop like wanting to listen to his music way before any of this. When his Life of Pablo album came out, he put it behind a paywall. And at the time, we've talked about this on here, but at the time I was still listening to CDs.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm not listening to your album now.
Wasn't it the same as buying a CD?
No, you couldn't
paywall?
buy, he made no physical copies. So that's how I listened to music, was CD in my car.
I gotcha.
So it was like, oh, well, I guess you don't want me to listen to your fucking album because you're making, so you're getting away with no production costs, and I'm paying.
Well, making CDs is minimal in terms of production.
True,
They
but it's
still has to
more
record
than
all this stuff.
Yeah, but it's still
right.
it's more than like. I mean,
digital
I want
file.
the physical copy. You know what I mean?
Right. I was definitely always more of a physical copy, like album person than like us, like just buying singles or just like being into one song. Like I always loved like full albums as a full work of art.
Yeah, that's how I listen.
The lyrics.
That's how I listen to music
yeah.
almost exclusively.
Right.
I very rarely don't put on an album.
Right.
So like, yeah, that's where I was at, and I was at the time, like I said, I didn't get to streaming yet. Like I was still behind the fucking technology, so I was only listening to CDs in my vehicles. So it was like, oh well, I guess I can't even. What's the point of me buying this? I'm not going to ever hear it.
Right,
I mean, I'm not going to listen to it on my phone. So but now
it's
that's
like,
all I do. Yeah. As soon as I discovered streaming, I immediately abandoned. I haven't bought a CD since.
See, he was a genius.
I mean, it was ahead of its time, but it alienated me personally. So
Word.
yeah. Yeah, because even artists that came out with streaming stuff, they'd still release a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But see, that's funny that the Hooters thing kind of, the way you ended that Pope joke kind of worked with the Hooters thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, word, this is going to be way better than expected.
Yeah, we're trying to get better at these headlines. It's a fun like joke writing exercise.
Yeah,
like,
I enjoy it.
I probably wouldn't do those things on stage, but
Yeah,
still, we can still have fun.
Yeah, and I always think about saying stuff like the Hooters thing, just like riffing on stage. But one, I'm terrible at riffing, and then also it's like, it's just, what is it going to be? Is it even going to be? Is there a way to make that joke work on stage?
Right.
And then by the time you get it working,
somehow it would be contextual.
well, if I had like a real angle,
like,
but it's not like an angle, it's just
right. It would just live up there on its own,
exactly, yeah.
without any context or anything. Yeah.
But yeah.
Word.
Yeah, fuck Hooters, man. I don't know if anybody's heartbroken about that.
Right. And
it's the market pressure, apparently. That's the problem. It's not the super outdated business model.
Right. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with me. We did want to thank again Jesse James Martin. Last episode sent in headlines of his own, so we know it's mostly comics listening to this. If you just have some like not throwaway jokes, make sure they're funny, but like jokes you're not gonna do on stage, but you want to just write some topical shit just for a fun exercise, feel free to record it, make sure it sounds decent, and send it in, and we'll put it and we'll play it for you if that don't suck. So yeah,
hell yeah.
What you got going on this week?
Dude, nothing much, man. This week I don't have shit going on this week really, but I did this show. Besides comedy stuff, I actually, now that I think of it, I don't know if we want to get in there already. I guess it doesn't matter. We can do whatever we want on this podcast.
Yeah, you had a busy ass weekend, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about Sunday. But before that,
Sunday.
yeah.
What happened on Sunday?
Didn't you take the comics to Philly?
Oh, it was Saturday. Gotcha. I see. Yeah.
Oh, I thought the shows were Saturday, and then after.
No, it was before the show on Saturday. We went to Philly.
Oh, and then came back.
Yeah.
I thought you were doing the show Sunday, and then they were like traveling, so you were like dropping them off in Philly for them to go on to. I gotcha.
No, they had a flight on Sunday morning. Yeah.
Gotcha. So instead of me trying to tell your story, why don't you just tell the story? 'Cause I assumed for some reason that you did that on Sunday. So.
I got you. No, it's just funny. I opened my phone and just see I sucked my cousin's dick. Is the first. I just delete that off my goddamn before I end up on a fucking list. I love that you made it all sweet. You said fellatio. It was adorable.
Well, it was in the opening of the.
I know.
So I was like, we could either do that and censor it, or
yeah.
Plus, it actually sounded like a news headline.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna let you finish.
It's very good. I like it a lot. I like it so much. But no, it was sick. The shows went well. They were a little both nights. It was funny. Both nights had similar crowds. I guess because they're kind of low turnout. I mean, each night had over 50 people there,
Nice.
so it wasn't nothing, but
Yeah,
it was low.
For the zone.
Yeah, and I guess it was like Easter weekend or whatever, or 420 weekend, whichever way you look at it.
Right.
So yeah, I get, which is crazy. The Pope died over Easter weekend. What are the odds? He must have been holding out for that.
Right.
Good for him.
And that's why I don't believe he didn't come back 3 days later.
Exactly.
So
Boney. No, but yeah, it was.
So you opened at the zone. Who was it again? Who were
It was Galen Nash and Brandon Lejeune.
Alrighty.
Hell yeah, not spelled, not how it sounds, or not spelled the way it
Not
sounds.
Langione.
It's spelled kind of like that. It's like I forget how Lejeune. It's spelled crazy, but luckily I went through this already last time they were there,
Right.
so I could pronounce it without even thinking about it. But it was a good weekend, but they were weird. They were tough crowds. They weren't the easiest crowds to deal with. So, and it was funny because they were kind of like similar on both nights.
Which is wild because like you're buying tickets to a show. I can understand like at a mic or like a free show.
Saturday, I didn't notice it quite as much on Friday, but on Saturday they were older.
Okay.
They were for sure an older crowd for whatever reason, but I guess Friday I couldn't really tell, but they were just like they I will say they were paying attention, so they were like an attentive crowd, but they were just hard to win over. And they also weren't, I'm not sure why they were seated the way they were seated, but they were seated a little spaced out for they weren't all up front, which they might have. I mean, it could have been a little bit better if they were a little bit tighter together.
Right.
Because it's kind of awkward when you're like just with like you and somebody else, and there's like empty seats around you, and you're like laughing, but if you're not really like, I don't know, like laughter's contagious, so you kind of like want everything to be.
It's contagious, and then strictly from like I'm an audio dork, like strictly from a physics standpoint. Like a crowd like close together, you're gonna hear that laughter more. It's pushing more air. Like there's more force there rather than spread it out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No,
like,
yeah, it makes sense.
Rather than like little laughter spread out the room, it's almost like
One.
It's like having one giant fan in the middle of the room blowing air versus like
a bunch of little ones.
A bunch
of ones that are in our mail trucks.
Exactly. Exactly. So it might be not only that it's contagious, but your perception on stage.
For sure,
They might be laughing the same, but you're not hearing it as powerful.
Yeah.
That's just a theory.
That could be a part of it.
I could also not know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Well, no, that definitely makes sense. And I think it for sure, I've definitely experienced that because you see them laughing and you're like, well, that's weird. I don't hear it as much. But I mean, they were attentive, so it wasn't like, it wasn't like bad at all, but they were just like, they were a little tough, especially, I mean, I had to go up cold, so it was definitely like, it was a little tough, like winning them over or whatever. Luckily I did so on both nights because that would have been rough. But it was one of those where like, I'm glad I've been doing it long enough to like keep my composure and timing because it really could have fucked me up because it was like some just like tags and stuff that like were like that work. Just it's not even that like people didn't think it was like funny or entertaining because you could see them like I could see them enjoying themselves, but it was just like a little trepidatious, maybe might be the word. I think that's what I said before, but so and it was just funny because both nights were like kind of the same. Saturday's crowd was a little better, but like they were very similar nights. Which
was
is
it
just
one show each night, or did you
just
do like
one
show each night? Cool.
Yeah. I guess last year they were still doing around. When I hosted for Brandon and Galen, there was actually two shows on Saturday,
right,
or Friday. I guess it was Friday.
I don't know which night because I came to that early one on whichever night.
I can't quite remember. I think it was Friday. There were two shows, but either way, they were good shows. I did okay, and then won them over by the end of the set, which is all you could possibly ask for. That's like the best case. You know what I mean? It's not,
right. Hell yeah.
I didn't do a pedophile joke before at the end of my set, so I didn't do that again.
Right on.
But
that's what you want anyway, I guess, as a host. You just want to set up the next guy.
For sure,
As long as
that's the most important thing. Like I'm taking a bullet. I don't need to have a good set. I just need to be competent. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the most important thing is to just not ruin the show. But yeah, and then like I said, both nights had like similar crowds, and then the first, Brandon did probably better on the first night than the second night, and actually Galen was kind of like the other way around. He did better on the second night than the first night, but it was just weird. Like they definitely didn't like, which serves me well because in my shorter set I can be more picky and choosy with the jokes. So I usually don't do many anything that's really not even by design, just by coincidence. I don't really do any like real political-ish jokes.
Sure.
I don't do any much political stuff, but you've seen like they're like political adjacent kind of.
Right.
Could be potentially construed as
Stuff
political.
that you want to do in your set, but you don't want to do as a host because
none of
you're
it's
trying
even,
to be neutral.
Exactly, and none of it's polarizing enough to really. It probably wouldn't even have made a difference.
Right.
But they had some stuff that might have been a little like political. Like Brandon has a few jokes that are like in the realm of politics, and both nights fucking real like really like hesitant people were really hesitant to like laugh at him and stuff. And he was even like mentioning it. He's like on stage like, okay, I feel like I'm losing you guys on the political stuff a little bit. It was just weird. It's always funny because it's like, I mean, I've never seen it be actual like real political, like politically polarizing humor,
right?
But you still see people push back. It's like, you guys are fucking pussies. This is so crazy.
Yeah.
To like push back at like what's clearly jokes. It's like there's no realm where it would be serious,
right?
But
if you can't like, okay, we're supposed to punch up like politicians, like you can't punch up more. Like they're literally in power.
Yes.
Like ruining our lives. Why can we not punch? You know what I mean? Like,
if anybody's fair game across the board,
it's any politician for sure.
Or the fucking Pope. No, I'm just kidding. But and then same thing with Galen. He had a couple jokes about he was kind of like working it out a little bit, but he had a joke like about George Floyd, and it like fucking definitely threw it off the rails. And he was like, why'd I do that? He was literally saying it was very funny. He's just like, man, why did I say that? I knew I shouldn't have said that. And then the funnier thing is he did it the next night again. Nice. But it did, like I said, it did better the next night.
Right.
It was just funny. It's just funny to see like headliners kind of even work on stuff or like riff a little bit. It was just fun.
Right. Just taking chances, taking risks. And shit like
exactly.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was really sick. The shows were sick. I mean, they were super fun either way. So
hell yeah.
But yeah, like I said, we went to Philly on Saturday. So
was this something they specifically requested? Like we're close to Philly. We want to go.
Yeah, he just asked
me
for
the day.
Yeah, he just asked if I would be interested in like driving them to Philly for cheesesteaks. I was like, yeah, sure. And then we went and saw the Rocky statue.
Nice.
It's funny because I've been like there's a skate park right around the corner from the art museum. I never went to the art museum.
Isn't it wild how tiny those feet are?
Oh, no, I didn't get that close to it.
Oh, I thought
because there was
did
a
you
line.
go up the steps?
We went up the steps, but we didn't go up to the statue because we were just
okay.
we were like I don't know, like 20 feet away from it or something.
We in 8th grade we did a field trip to Philly and saw all the usual sites like the Mint, the Liberty Bell, and all that stuff. And we went to the.
I've still not seen the Liberty Bell, which is funny.
Right.
Yeah.
You can see a picture. It's not that much more impressive up close.
Did you know that the reason the Liberty Bell's cracked is because they made it out of like the shitty bell material? This is Drew told me this. He's like, yeah. So when they made the Liberty Bell, they didn't know how to make bells and stuff. So they used like a bunch of different metals, and you can't do that, or they don't like combine right. And I'm butchering this description. He put it well like way more eloquently than I'm going to right now.
Sure.
But apparently if you use different types of metal, they don't combine correctly. Like you can't do that. So it just like cracked the first time they rang it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like hilarious. They just didn't. I'm like, yeah, they should have made that shit in Pittsburgh. Right. They could have they would have made
or
that out
France.
of steel.
Isn't the fucking the hunchback ringing that bell like in the 1400s or whatever the fuck?
I guess. Is that even true?
I don't know.
I don't even know the Hunchback was real. I don't even know.
I'm just.
It's very funny. But yeah, and Pittsburgh wasn't a thing then. Now that I think.
But now it's a metaphor because our liberty is cracked.
Is that it?
I don't fucking know. I don't know.
So it was cracked, but was it always cracked? It was always cracked, wasn't it?
Indeed.
That's the metaphor. We've been a good.
We were doomed from the beginning.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. That's what I was trying to get to.
Wait, what was it said about the
feet. You went in.
Oh yeah, we field trip 8th grade and like being like little nerds, we like ran up the steps like Rocky and did the like.
Oh, you weren't. There were adults doing that while we were there.
Doing
and I'm
the,
like, this is
cheering thing.
yeah.
But then you look at those feet. I think in 8th grade, my feet were bigger.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Than Sylvester Stallone's feet, like, or at least close to
They
it.
ran out.
Right.
Oh wait, that would have been first. They probably would have built it from the ground up. So I was gonna say they ran out of copper or whatever. They built a statue with. They probably ran out of material.
No, I'm not his feet in the statue. On the ground, there's a plaque with like 2 footprints, like shoe prints, like where he's standing
That's
in the movie.
so funny. Oh, so his real feet are tiny.
Apparently, because they're because in 8th grade, like I said, my feet were either just as big, if not bigger.
That's so funny. What size shoe do you wear?
Well, now like. Depending on the brand, like 10 and a half.
Okay, I'm at 10 and a half too. Yeah,
Right.
my feet are 10 and a half, depending on the brand, if they are correct or not.
Right.
But
And sometimes you have to get the wide.
Yeah,
or not. Yeah.
My measurements are 10 and a half, and it depends on them whether or not they fucking decide to make shoes the correct size.
Right.
I hate that stuff. I hate that shit. But that's crazy. That's wow. That's a big guy, isn't he? Or is he not that big?
I think he's like thick.
Okay,
but I think he's short.
Yeah, that tracks.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah, the statue was bigger, so
Right.
But I just think I thought it was funny that like that's the worst statue in the area. Every
And
other
it's at an art museum.
yeah, I mean I don't know about what's in the I've never been in, but like every other statue, like the one that's George Washington, all the other ones at the bottom of the hill and shit are way nicer. It's easily the worst statue in that general area.
Well, is it an ugly statue or is it just a statue of an
it's
ugly guy? Like, I mean, it is Sylvester Stallone we're talking about.
No, I just mean the details of. I mean, it's just fine. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a good statue, better than what I could do. But like, all of the other ones are way more detailed and impressive. Right. Like the George Washington one on the horse, like in the center of the street or whatever, is like nice as shit. I mean, it's up high, but it's super nice. Mm-hmm. There's like a moose and like a bear and then like a trident and shit like that all around like this monument in the middle of the road. And it's like all that is way nicer and no one's even there. No one gives a fuck about these
Everyone's at the Rocky.
Everybody's at the Rocky one taking pictures, doing the pose at the top of the steps, waiting in line. And then there's another Rocky statue at the bottom of the stairs over to the side if you're like too lazy to go up the stairs.
If you see the line, you're like, yeah, fuck that. Let's go to the other one.
I mean, the line wasn't that long. It's just like you don't want to see the one. Go to the top of the stairs. It's in the movie.
Right.
Like,
if you made it all the way to the museum, why not?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. There's just like one at the bottom.
Or is that the handicap statue because you can't
Maybe
get up, you can't get up the stairs?
Yeah,
so
I might be a piece of shit on that one. Yeah, that's my bad. I apologize.
Well, they're probably going to remove that statue then soon.
DEI statue. Yeah, damn, my battery's at 5%.
There's Rocky I, Rocky II, Rocky D, and then Rocky DEI.
Rocky DEI. It's Creed. What are you talking about? But oh yeah, then we went to cheesesteaks, and I forget the place we went to, but it was a really good. I mean, it's a bunch of cheesesteak spots in Philadelphia. So
that's like
what difference does it make? It wasn't Pat's or Gino's. We went to like a lower like.
You're not going to say the name. How else are we going to get hate mail saying that's not the best cheesesteak? You should have gone here.
Yeah,
you should have gone there.
I think it was Joe's roasted pork.
Okay, that sounds like a more interesting sandwich to me than a cheesesteak.
Well, I got a cheesesteak.
Well, right, but I've heard of the Philly roast pork that's like got broccoli rabe.
Oh,
and shit like that. I was like, I want that over a cheesesteak. I want to try one of those.
Yeah, no, but the cheesesteak was really good. It was a Philly cheesesteak. I mean, it was like perfect. Which I didn't realize they do like the Cooper now.
That's popular. Everyone's Cooper Sharp.
Yeah, I forgot that I thought like I didn't realize that was because usually it's like Whiz or provolone,
right,
or American. Right. But I'm thinking maybe I just thought that maybe it's been Cooper the whole time. Maybe that's always the Americans. Maybe it's always been a Cooper, but that's funny because that's just my personal favorite cheese for sandwiches is Cooper Sharp. I love that cheese
for sure
on like burgers or anything really, and so that's what I got.
Yeah, way better than Swiss, isn't it?
It is for that specific application.
For any application,
but if there's ham, it's better with Swiss. Ham and mustard and pork. But yeah, no, it was really good. It was a really good cheesesteak. Galen wasn't thrilled with it because he didn't like the roll.
Okay.
You know how like some of them will be like kind of like a tough, harder roll.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Okay.
And
Was it seeded? I know people are
Yes.
super like, it's got to be a seeded roll. See, I'm not a fan. I'd rather have a softer.
I prefer the softer ones, but from what I've always had, the hard rolls are the standard. Like that's like the standard, and then the soft roll is just like my preference. To some places I think have better rolls.
Right. Yeah, I don't.
But
I don't
I
really
liked it. I
seeded.
mean, it was really good. I fucking faced the whole thing anyway. So, but yeah, no, that was good. And then there was this kid who was like walking around at the cheesesteak place, and Galen clocked it immediately. I was a little bit later. Brandon didn't clock it at all, but the kid was like kind of obviously autistic, and he was like standing there and he was like walking around talking to himself like, it's been 8 minutes since I've ordered these fries. This is ridiculous. And he was like walking around complaining. I mean, he had to be like 5 or 6 or something.
Right.
But it was very articulately complaining, and it was just very funny. And Brandon was like standing there, and he's like, God, that kid's like the worst. And we're like, I mean, I guess. It's just so funny. But I mean, if he wasn't autistic, he would have been the worst. It would have been like a little menace of a child. But it was like he kind of had a pass. And he was just, and then we were just like standing there waiting. And he was like, hey, he's like, how long have you been waiting here? And he's like, it's been 9 minutes. It's just very funny. And he could tell.
It could be worse. He could be Kanye's cousin, kid.
Yeah, that's true. You could be Kanye's. Well, he was on the best.
Debate. That's debatable.
He's on the receiving end.
Next, okay. Let's just
We'll dive back into this.
no, let's just skate.
But
right
yeah, no,
past
he
that.
was. But it was just funny, and he was like, he kept complaining, and I think he could tell that like we were like laughing about it because he kept like saying it. So I think he was like kind of leaning in. He was doing the comic thing,
Okay,
where he was like pushing for more laughs. But then so at the cheesesteak place, Brandon's an Eagles fan,
Okay.
so he overheard somebody say that they're showing the Lombardi Trophy at Lincoln Financial Field.
Oh, well.
So he's like, dude, do you mind if we fucking, he's like, I would hate to like, he's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it, but like, I'd hate to like,
Be that close and
then not try and like find out.
Right.
And then find out later that we could have went to see that. And I'm like, honestly, yeah, I mean, it's not our trophy, but I wouldn't mind fucking seeing a Lombardi trophy. I've never seen a goddamn Super Bowl trophy.
Right.
And so we went to Lincoln Financial, and they did not. You couldn't see. Only season ticket holders could go in and see it. But that is pretty sick. That's like, damn. Okay, I guess I'm getting my money's worth of the season ticket pass. But we did we went to like the pro shop and looked at the stuff. He got like a bunch of shit for like $120. Huh. He got like a ton. He got like a jersey, he got a jersey, like 2 t-shirts, a hoodie, a glass and stuff for like $120. It was like, God damn.
I would have thought just a jersey would be like $120.
They are that much. Some of them were. They were like $350 jerseys there.
God damn.
But yeah, and they had one jersey there that was like $20. And he's like, yeah, this one's like $20. And we're like, why is it so cheap? He's like, well, it's this guy, his name is something like Bradbury. And I don't really know the player, but apparently I think it was the guy who got a holding call on him in the Super Bowl that they lost the one year.
So no one wants that.
So nobody wants that fucking jersey. And he was just like telling us about it. And they were like, this guy was like standing like near us, and he's like, nah, man, you're looking at it the wrong way. Like, because of that law, and he just like, he had this whole like thing, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was like, yeah, he's like, because of that loss, this and that, we got this player, we got the draft, we got a better draft pick, and look at us now, we're a way better team because of that loss. And Brandon's like, would you wear that jersey? And he's like, fuck no, I would never wear that. I would never wear that bum. It was just so funny to have this real, like, you know what I mean?
Really reasonable.
A reasonable, like, nuanced take, and then just be like, fuck no, I'd never wear that jersey. And I really regret not, because I should just get a Eagles jersey in case I ever go to an Eagles game, since it's way closer than Pittsburgh.
Right.
I mean, not that close, but like an hour closer than Pittsburgh.
Did they ever play each other?
No, not some. Sometimes they do. Sometimes
Right.
I think last year they did actually, but
Okay.
they're not in the same whatever conference. So,
Right.
but yeah, I do regret not getting
sometimes
that.
they switch it up.
Yeah, I really wish I would have got it just for the bit. Because it's funny, like, and then I could tell that story anytime somebody asks me, or I can just be like, "Yeah, it's this fucking bum. I bought this because I'm happy that they fucking lost that Super Bowl." You know what I mean? Just to be a dick.
Frame it and put it up in your house just so you can explain.
Oh,
it to
I'd wear it.
people.
I'd wear it. Like, no, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm just enjoying. I just enjoy that holding call. Now, I do regret not getting it, especially because it was $20.
Right.
I mean,
right.
yeah. So I regret that. I'm gonna regret that at some point whenever I finally get a. But I'd probably rather just get a Saquon jersey. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just to celebrate that loss.
Do you guys do anything else around Philly?
No, we didn't really have time for anything else. I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't think we did anything else. We recorded a podcast on the way back, so if you want to check that out.
I want to listen to that. What's the name of it? Again?
Barely Serious.
Barely nice.
With Galen Nash. Yeah, yeah. It was a fun. We did it on the way back,
like in the car
on the drive.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. I did fucking say it never ceases to amaze me how dumb I am sometimes. We saw like a billboard on the way back that said like it was just a Buc-ee's logo and it said 367 miles to the next Buc-ee. It was just it was just funny because it didn't even say Buc-ee's, it just had the logo. And it just said 367 miles or whatever. So it's like that far to the next Buc-ee's, which is long as shit. And we were like just talking about like I'm like I said something like, "Oh, how many miles? Is that how long it is to Texas or whatever?" Yeah, I know. In hindsight, it's amazing. It amazes me how I know better, and I still say dumbass shit like that.
To be fair, numbers not your strong suit.
No, it's not my strong suit, but like it was like 15 to 20 miles to Philadelphia from York. So I should probably know better than over 300.
More than 15, 20.
I don't know what it is. See what I mean?
It's like 50 miles of York to Lancaster.
Is it really? God,
so.
I'm bad at that. I'm fucking looking that up. That's so funny. No, yeah, it's just, I like, in high, I was
Yeah,
just
it takes like 2
the-
to 3 days to drive to Texas.
and I'm like, yeah, of course I do somebody else's podcast and immediately make an ass out of myself. My phone's dead.
Nice.
But,
did you plug us at least?
yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, that was the yeah. And at the end of the episode, he's like, "Do you have any like?" Or he's like, "All right, whatever. Do you want to plug anything?" And then after that, he's like, "Do you have any like words of wisdom for like the?" I'm like, "Fucking, I don't know." I was just like, "Take it easy, stay off the news." I'm like, just like saying some random. I stand behind it, but I just didn't have it. I just threw me through a loop. I was
Right
like,
on.
"Oh shit, I should say something nice and fucking thoughtful, I guess." Don't watch the news. Stay off Facebook. It's fucking that was pretty much it. That's all I had. But no, it was definitely fun. It was a fun time. We had to share a microphone, which made it a little bit difficult to like riff. Like me and Brandon had to share a microphone, and then I was driving, so I couldn't just like jump in as much.
Okay.
No, it was still it was fun.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So you actually had like a physical microphone with like a little recorder or something?
Yeah, which we could. It was a recorder, but then we used
You
mic.
can hook a mic to it.
So, yeah,
some of them do have a mic input.
Yeah, maybe we could figure something out for like road trips or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I was trying to think about how we're going to do our trip.
Yeah. Yeah, we got plenty of time though. We got like a month, so hell yeah. Yeah, what are you doing? I just soaked up 20 minutes of talking about my weekend.
That's good because I got nothing. Did the Easter thing, just went to my mom's.
Nice.
Getting over this little chest cold. The kid started feeling sick the other day. She had a fever like a week or two ago, but then just had this like cough. And then the other day she coughed directly into my mouth.
Yeah.
Right in my mouth, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm sick now.
Yeah.
So I'm if my voice sounds a little gravelly, that's what's up. But other than that, nothing crazy. I was supposed to do a show up at Shangri-La tomorrow night.
Oh, wow.
Aaliyah's show.
Yeah.
But she sent me a message. They're like redoing the floors in the venue, so it's just scheduled till next Thursday.
Oh, nice.
So next Thursday on the 1st,
Hell yeah.
I'll be up there. That should be fun. Trying to have her on because I think she's recording her special this weekend.
Oh, this weekend. Okay.
Yeah, so trying to have her on, but we'll have her on soon.
Yeah.
And then other than that, I got the 25th, Friday and Saturday, with Earl. Friday is Duncannon, which
That's
is
this coming.
Yeah.
Oh, hell
like
yeah.
a few days
Nice.
from now. Yeah, so Friday I'll be up there in Duncannon, another EMS
Nice.
place.
A few days. So literally tomorrow when people are listening to this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Which is up a little past Harrisburg.
Yeah.
And then the Saturday is at the Ashland Fountain Springs Country up in Ashland, which is up near Pottstown, I think.
Nice.
Up towards Limerick, where I was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Limerick.
Sounds Irish.
Yeah. Looking forward to those. My dad and my brother might come up. They were going to come up to that last one. They might come up and do the road trip with me, which would be fun.
Nice.
It's like about an hour and a half drive, so it'd be kind of cool to have some company. But other than that, I got nothing else on the books. So,
Oh yeah. What time is the show on Friday?
Up in Duncannon, I want to say 7,
Okay.
but I could be wrong.
All right. Yeah, because maybe I'll come to that or something.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I can't look at it. Yeah, you said it's like north of Harrisburg or whatever.
Yeah. You could always ride with me if you want.
Possibly. Well, I think I might have shit to do all day. So I don't know
gotcha.
what time I would end up getting up there.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can pull it up as far as what time it is. But yeah, I'm grateful to have some shows. Been a busy month after a while of not doing shit. So I'm kind of happy with that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I got a show on Saturday with Karen Glessner and Andrew Brooks.
Nice.
Yeah, and we're driving to Harrisburg, and then we're carpooling with Karen.
Alrighty.
So yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay, so dinner at 6, show begins at 7.
Word.
It's BYOB spaghetti dinner provided with the tickets, $45 per ticket.
Okay.
Benefits Duncannon EMS and Cove Mountain Community Theater.
Word.
So it's for good cause, and you get spaghetti. So
Hell yeah.
come on out.
Hell yeah. Yeah, what's it called? Yeah, I gotta check with Lori. Yeah, because we might end up doing something. Because I didn't do shit with her last weekend because it was I guess we spent time together on Sunday, but
Right.
yeah. Yeah, because I was away all weekend, and I will say I was kind of happy to because like I don't know, sometimes I'm a little bit. I mean, it's nice to just relax all day. I'm always like in my head about doing too much before like shows and shit.
Right.
But that was like the ultimate test of like, can I just do a whole day of doing something? And it's kind of like, was like, damn, I guess this is what like the road feels like. I mean, technically I came back to my home place and then went and did a show, but it was like going.
But you like traveled, toured around a city.
Yeah.
Did a podcast and then came and did a show.
And,
so that's pretty sick.
Well, and then I went back. So I dropped them off back at Harrisburg, then went home, ran on the treadmill, took a shower, went back to Harrisburg. So, I mean, I drove what's that? Like,
that's
I was like 5 or 6 hours of driving in addition to the show. It was just like cool to be able to like do all that in a day and not like die of exhaustion. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah, I'm sad because I have to work Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'll have those late shows. I mean, but the shows aren't crazy late.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like I kind of got home the same time as a local show anyway, because if they start at 7 versus 8 and you're driving an hour, what's the difference?
True.
You know, so it's not like I'm getting home crazy.
Yeah, they are
later,
earlier shows, so that is a benefit to like some of the Earl shows. They tend to be earlier. They're not like, it's pretty cool. Yeah,
and it's just fun playing new different places. He's been all about doing, clubs are great and everything, but doing these places outside of clubs has been really lucrative and
for sure.
And they've been good shows, so it's been pretty sweet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where it is, as long as it's a fun show.
Right.
Yeah, and some of the weird shit is like fun to do sometimes. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I don't want to bring the mood down.
Oh Jesus!
But unless you have something else to
now to Kanye fuck another family member in the meantime of this podcast.
I mean, he might have, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's very possible. Yeah, I wonder what the next headline's going to be.
I mean, dude, yeah, it's like getting to the point. I mean, it saddens me because I like want to like him still. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm still gonna like all of his old music. It is what it is. But this is different. He's a different Kanye now. It's like he's Ye now. Right. I'm glad he started calling himself Ye. So now it's like, no, I like Kanye West. I don't fuck with Ye. I don't know who that is. that dude who fucks his cousin.
Jesus Christ.
I like the Kanye. You know what I mean? The Kanye that used to make music for Jay-Z and shit, right?
Is he named that because a 6-year-old getting a blowjob is like, yay? So what I was going to go on to was, so I saw this post by somebody. I'm trying to get really, really past that quickly.
Yeah. You keep bringing it up. I think you're jealous.
Well, a 6-year-old might be jealous. Well, no, 42-year-old me is jealous too. Anyway, so I saw a post from somebody back in my old neighborhood of Ellicott City, Maryland. Grew up around Ellicott City, Catonsville, Maryland, which means nothing to anybody who wasn't around there.
Not Baltimore.
Right. It's outside Baltimore.
Outside of Baltimore.
Yeah, like 15, 20 minutes or, 367 miles.
So the Jersey of Maryland.
367 miles.
Fuck. I'm so dumb, dude. Sometimes I fucking impress myself.
But so there was this little sandwich shop. And again, this specifically isn't going to mean anything to anybody, like the specifics, but kind of what it made me feel.
Yeah.
So it was this little place called Duchess, and it was just a little mom and pop sandwich shop, and they did like hand spun milkshakes. To this day, like the best milkshake I've ever had.
Yeah.
And just killer sandwiches, and it was cheap, inexpensive. And so like after high school would let out, and you'd smoke a bowl on the way, and then go get a sandwich and a milkshake.
Hell yeah.
The sandwiches were awesome, and it's this elderly couple was running it, and in hindsight, it wasn't the greatest on our part, but like he would sometimes be referred to as the sandwich Nazi.
Yeah.
Just because it was very like no nonsense ordering, and like he would kind of get a little attitude with you. Like at the time, like I did not eat like black pepper on anything. I didn't like pepper, and so he would just make the sandwich and he'd be like, lettuce, tomato, salt, pepper, and I would say no pepper, and I'd see him start shaking pepper. I was like, no, and and
no.
And then he would like get a little like short with you, So people refer to it as the sandwich Nazi, but in hindsight, it was kind of fucked up because he definitely had numbers on his arm.
Oh Jesus!
So yeah, it wasn't the greatest nickname, and in hindsight,
was that just a coincidence, or did you
well,
did you guys know that?
I don't think we connected the two together.
Well, yeah, why would you? You're not. I mean, I would never.
That's what I'm saying. In hindsight, it was like, oh,
yeah, that's hilarious.
That's literally the worst insult we could have. could have done. But yeah, I would always.
He was just a sandwich. Yep. Never mind. Keep talking about the sandwiches.
Yeah. And I would go and get a turkey sandwich and a peanut butter milkshake. And the peanut butter milkshake was sick. It would like actually like have peanut butter in it. Anyway, so I saw this post the other day that they're permanently closed.
Damn.
And it just like, I was like, it made me feel like old.
Yeah.
That like spots that like, like are good positive memories. And they're like, oh, I could never go back there. And like literally just a few weeks ago or like a month or two ago, me and Kay were down in Maryland. There was a funeral. We stayed down there, and I was like, we could hit it up. And like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you always think it's going to be there because it's always been there.
Yeah.
But,
and you didn't hit it up, and now it's like, fucking, that could have been the last time.
And I could never, and it did change owners.
Yeah.
I think recently. So, or at least they had somebody else running it. Cause, I think the husband died. And then the wife was still running it. Mm-hmm. And then actually I sent my friend the post, and he knows a little bit more about what actually goes on. And there was like a local farm, kind of like similar to Flinchbaugh's up here, but it was Boggers down there. And the woman there actually went and helped the lady run it. And sadly, she actually like fell outside and cracked her head and died. Oh, so like, but while helping the lady, but I'm really not trying to bring everybody down. I'm trying to say how I'm the victim here. This is really tragic for me.
This is a story about me getting old and still being alive and healthy.
It's a tragedy that I can't get that milkshake and sandwich anymore. But
it's really the worst thing to happen to that family.
But yeah, it was just seeing it as permanently closed was just like, it felt just like another thing of just like getting older and like not being able to go. There's this term that Kate brings up. It's an Irish phrase that I'm completely blanking on. She's going to yell at me later, but it means like yearning for like to go back to a place that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like kind of like you can't like go back home. We actually did visit the home where I grew up.
Yeah.
And drove by it. And it was like kind of sad because there was still some of the same paint on the like around the place. The porch, like we had painted black and that was all peeling and but that would just look like run down and shitty. And
we don't have to talk shit on them. I mean, they're doing their best, Damien.
They're really not. They're really not. It looks like they're not doing anything because my mom moved out of there at least 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And it still like has some of the same paint on it. You know what I mean? It looks run down.
Yeah, that shit sucks, man. It definitely and I'm for sure feeling that now, and I'm 10 years ahead of you or behind you or whichever way you want to look at it. But yeah, no, it sucks. Like, yeah, I wish like I would have been able to like buy my parents' like my childhood home or whatever instead of them selling it.
I was going to ask about that because I remember you said you had a fire.
Oh yeah, that was years ago.
The earlier house.
No, that was the same house, but we fixed it or whatever.
Okay,
like we rebuilt it.
I was gonna ask if you like where your parents are now. Did you grow up in Dover or where did you?
No. Okay. I grew up in York. Do you know where the Victory Club is?
I do not.
Oh, do you know where York Suburban High School is?
Vaguely.
Queensgate Shopping Center.
Oh yeah.
Down like literally down the street from Queensgate. You know where Mount Rose Avenue is?
Right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right down, like in between York Suburban and Mount Rose Avenue.
Alrighty.
So like down the street from York Suburban High School. That main road. It's like down there, right next to like a cemetery. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that burned down, but then like it wasn't condemned or anything, so we rebuilt it.
But then, how old were you when they sold it?
Like I was working for the post office.
Oh, so it was more recently.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and it just sucks because like I could have maybe. I mean, it would have been tough to afford it, but I could have made it happen. Mm. But then I just didn't have. I don't know. I just wasn't like if it was now. I probably would jump on it just for nostalgia purposes, and it would just be like a nice investment to have. Mm-hmm. But I just wasn't in the position to do that.
Right, and now you can't go back there.
No, and I can't go back there, and it's like literally the only. I mean, we lived another childhood home of mine would be down the street also, so it would be like right around the corner from this, but. That's not the most of my time was at that house, and I could have like owned that. You know what I mean? And I would like if I could go back for sure, I would do that. I would buy it from them and either rent it to somebody else or let them stay there. Mm-hmm. If I think they wanted to downsize, so then they moved with my brother up in Dover.
All right.
So yeah, I have no connection to Dover. It's all that house or whatever.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it sucks. I mean. And then even like, I'm trying to think of like places. Fortunately for me, a lot of the places I used to go to were like fucking chains and shit. So I don't give a shit about any of them.
It's funny that you bring that up because then I was thinking, okay, we have a kid. I was like, is she going to have places like that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you have to make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, and those things happen naturally. It's not like, like in high school we were seeking out that. It was like, that's just where we went. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, see, for me, I got the skate park.
Right.
So it's like that'll. There's no way they're gonna not have the skate. I mean, they would have to tear down a fucking God knows how like tens of thousands of dollars of concrete for no reason. So the likelihood of that happening is hopefully zero.
Right.
But yeah, and it's in the middle of those Bob Hoffman fields and shit. So it's like, why would that ever go anywhere?
Right.
So, and I still do go there, so I don't regret not going there from time to time. But
yeah, it's just I was just wondering like. Is she going to have places like that? What are they going to be? There's like 18 Subway sandwich shops in like
well, luckily
like
that I think that shit's
area
like toning down.
Like all the chains.
Yeah, I mean, it seems that way, especially in York. I mean, because we didn't have a lot of like. Every year there seems like there's more and more like local spots.
Right.
Despite like the fact that like fucking COVID killed so many mom and pop spots.
Right.
But it seems like people are starting to value shit like that more and actually want to like eat at like unique spots and not go to the chains. And it's funny. I was actually talking to somebody about this that like, he's like, it's funny that people kind of, and like, I said, it was just some dude I was talking to at a bar, and I said something about like, I think it was about Fat Daddies and how there's going to be a fucking Panda Express, which drives me fucking crazy. Yeah, supposedly. That was years ago.
There's already so many good Asian spots right in that area. Like,
and people were like excited about it. I'm like, I hate you. I hate you for being excited about a fucking stupid chain. I don't even, maybe I love Panda Express. I don't know. I've never been there.
Right.
But can we just be, it's right near my house. I want something cool there.
Right. The little gyro spot was cool, and then they got rid of that.
Yeah.
Now it's a fucking Jimmy John's and
everything that goes there goes out of business.
Mod Pizza.
Yeah. I don't know what, but like, yeah, I'm praying that it fucking does not become a goddamn Panda Express. It's been a while, so I feel like something's wrong,
right?
And it's not, because they have all the money in the world, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to put up a Panda Express in the time that was alleged that there's going to be a Panda Express there. They built a Popeyes down the street. So like they purchased
right across the street from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they purchased, tore down, and rebuilt a Popeyes in that time frame. So I'm hoping there's some type of wrench. Maybe Panda Express is about to go bankrupt with Hooters. So like, fingers crossed that
tariffs.
Hopefully, yeah, exactly. Hopefully, God, that'd be the best thing to come from the tariffs if that's fucking
your
building,
orange chicken is now $37.
If that fucking place is just not going to be, it's going to be like I don't care what it is, just a local business. Right. Obviously, it would be something that I would want to be interested in, but literally anything else. And it doesn't have to be a shit show of a club that gets shot at every other weekend.
Right.
It could maybe not be that too, but yeah, I just like stuff like that. I'm trying to think of other. Well, the one place I do always have, unless it goes somewhere, is the Victory Club. So there's always that that's heavy nostalgia,
right?
Because that's where I worked for like 7 years.
That's
that was
where you met Lori.
That's where I met Lori.
Right.
At this point, that's where we go. We kind of just go there at some point close to our anniversary, because the first spot we went to on our first date is torn down and gone. The Brickyard. So like, that was technically our first date, because we got bailed on by the people that were supposed to go with us. So we just ended up on a date.
Nice.
It was just like technically our first date.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
our first date was at the Melting Pot.
Oh, nice.
Down in Rockville, Maryland.
Fucking fancy. All right.
Well, it was actually at the suggestion of a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was the owner of the bagel shop where I was working.
Nice.
And, but we became friends, and, I was like, I don't know where to go on a first date. I knew we had something to do, and he actually suggested, it was really smart, because sometimes on a first date, when you're getting to know each other, there's like lulls in the conversation. You're like trying to think of like stuff to bring up.
For sure, yeah.
But Melting Pot's fondue, you're constantly
that's actually a good idea.
Busy. So like it was really smart.
Then you can tell, you could drop it. Like, oh shit, I dropped the food, or like, this is good. Try this.
And it was hilarious. It was both of our first time there.
Yeah.
And we were at the table, and they turn it on to like warm it up, and it started like smoking, and we were like, cool, is this normal?
Yeah.
And then like after a while, it was just like, all right, this is getting pretty bad. And then finally a waiter like ran over and was like, oh no, like they turned it off, and we moved tables.
Set you guys on fire on your first day. It's called trauma bonding.
So it's actually like a pretty funny experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to suggested that, and I'm a dumbass, because I was going at the time I was going to Omega Recording Studios, which is down in Rockville, which is right outside DC. And I knew there was a Melting Pot down there. I didn't realize there was one in Towson.
Yeah.
So I literally like
30 minutes away.
Not even like it would have been maybe like 20 minutes from Kate's house. So I picked her up in Baltimore, and instead of going right up to Towson, drove all the way down to Rockville.
That's so funny. I mean,
which was like
you didn't have the internet.
45 minutes. Right. I was like, oh yeah, there's the Melting Pot's down in Rockville.
Yeah.
So I just thought that's what it was. It was like, didn't realize they had multiple locations. I believe there was also one in Columbia, which is like 15 minutes from my house.
so
like
two
literally
better
drove
options.
to
That's
a third farther away.
That's actually a lot for such a. That's a lot in the same area, kind of.
They're, I mean, about
I only
40 minutes apart.
Yeah,
from
I
each.
just feel like that's a lot of melting pot. I don't know. It just seems like a lot.
Right.
Because they do good business. I don't know.
But I guess it worked. We're still married.
Yeah, that's a good idea for a first date. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it kept us busy, conversation stuff, and yeah, you're just constantly like doing.
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time.
And it's just like a lot of like things to comment about as opposed to just your one meal or whatever.
Right. And I was working full time and living at home. So I kind of like, and I was really bad with money.
Yeah.
So it was like, I didn't even think about like the cost of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other places if there's other nostalgic places that I guess I am fortunate that I always have like that skate park, and then like the Victory Club probably won't go out of business, I don't think. Although the skate park less so. It can be like kind of a bummer sometimes because I'm like, oh yeah, I would just come here after school and spend all of my time at the skate park, and that was all I had to do was to come here and hang out with my friends.
Right.
And then most of them don't skate anymore, or at least a bunch of them don't skate anymore. A bunch of them have moved away.
Right.
And then so that can be a bummer. And then same thing with the Victory Club. It's like almost none of the people that I worked there with when I first started work there anymore. There's a few. But like, and then a lot of the people that were patrons there, they're either don't go there, go to different clubs, or have died because they're all older. So it's like, that can be a bummer sometimes as well.
Right.
Yeah. So it is. Yeah, you're right. This is a bummer. Thanks for bringing this up.
I don't I debated even bringing it up because it's a local place that means nothing to anybody who didn't.
No, but
grow
it
up
is a
around there,
conversation about, you know what I mean, about nostalgia and shit.
And wondering what are going to be those things around here for her.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, there are places that aren't just chains, but it's just like there's so many. But
Especially
if
around
I'm thinking,
well, for you it would be different, but for me, York, I mean, like I said, it's improved now, but like when I was a kid, now maybe my parents were chain people.
Right.
If we even went out, we didn't go out to eat a lot, which I think is part of the reason why I like going out to eat so much, because we never did. So it's just something I never got to do, and I just like experiencing different
for sure
spots now. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely. It used to be a lot. Oh, well, I never finished that thought with the guy. I was talking shit on. I think I was talking shit on the fact that a Panda Express was going to go there,
Right.
and the guy was, and it was a really interesting take. And he was like, he's like, yeah, it's funny that you say that because like when I was a kid, we were so grateful of like chains because all we had was either home food or like some small mom and pop stuff. When we got chains, it was like, oh wow, we're making it now. Like we're getting this like fucking cool, right? We got Red Lobster. Like this is crazy. And it's just like, it's really funny to like how that used to be a cool like thing.
Right.
Like it's interesting because it's so opposite for me. Like it's the polar opposite.
But no, I get that because it kind of felt like that. It even felt like that going to McDonald's as a little kid.
Yeah, I mean,
and now it's like, okay, that's trash. Like,
yeah,
you
it's
know
like
what I mean?
literally the worst thing you do is go to these chains. Like that's for me. It's like I don't need to go to any of the chains anymore.
Right.
Like I just don't care to go to. I like every time if I have a choice, I'm going to the local spot.
Right.
Like I am not going to a chain if I can help it. And yeah, it's just funny. I get it. It was like early. I mean, he was older, so like obviously they weren't all these chains, and it was just like, whoa, a fucking Red Lobster's coming. Oh, an Olive Garden. This is crazy.
It had the chains didn't have like the stigma that they do now, where it's just like, oh, that's a chain. You can get the same thing anywhere. Like you can't get anything unique there. And some people want that. Some people.
Well, it was unique, I guess. Also, so
right.
Yeah.
And it was it had an aura of being like special.
Yeah. Well, because
Whereas-
it was, I guess, because it was like they were few and far between. They weren't popular.
Right. But now, like, I guess people are becoming more like food literate and just being more aware of different things.
And I guess they saturated the market with the chains too.
Right.
Like there's fucking the Chili's in east and west side of York. So why is that?
There are people who don't really want to try anything new. They want the same thing. They want that comfort of, I know I can go to that chain, get that dish, and it's going to be the same every time. And then there's, I think we would probably fall into that. Like,
I fall into that with local spot. I mean, I go to Mextally all the time.
Right. But like I guess the willingness to try different stuff, or kind of being disappointed when, there's a possible new spot coming.
Yeah. And
then it's a Panda Express, or it's a chain or whatever. So
like the same thing with the Popeyes. It was like they replaced like a Mexican spot that just moved up the street, which that's fine.
Right.
But then they've replaced it with a Popeyes. It's like, sick.
Right.
Like there was an opportunity to have something and it doesn't help that I just don't want to eat at the chain. It's my problem.
Right.
It's fucking, there's a line around the damn building, so fuck my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm wrong. Every time I see Chick-fil-A, I'm like, well, everybody else is happy about it because that line is wrapped around the building fucking twice every single day.
Right.
So I'm, I guess, it's my problem. But yeah, it's just disappointing. It's like, fuck, man, anything but a chain. Just, even if it's like a cuisine that I don't want.
Right.
Like, I'd rather it be that, Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it was just funny to see like the different like the different perspective on like a chain. Because he was just like, we would be like, it was like really exciting to have like a chain come to town. Just like, felt like you were a bigger town. Like it was like an experience or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny how that's changed now.
Yeah.
And
and I don't know if it's just like us or me, or if, because I know a lot of people don't care, but I'm wondering if, for me, it just seems like it's been nothing but chains my whole life. So maybe I just caught that, because I don't remember a lot of, like I said, I could be wrong, but I don't remember there being a lot of unique restaurants when I was growing up. And now it feels like quadruple that since even when I first started to go out to eat, when I was like a teenager or whatever. But then at the same time, I didn't have money, so I was going to the cheapest place. I was going to like fucking Infinitos and having all you can eat pizza. So that's what I was doing.
I didn't have anything beyond that. Just feeling old and nostalgic and shit, and wasn't trying to bring the whole mood down.
One thing that bums me out is and this is all my fault, but like cars, I used to have and should still have. Like my first car, I should have just kept that. Like I should just it was like an old Chevy Cavalier. I'd probably still have it now. I mean, it might still be running.
Right.
I mean, it was lower miles. Or like my first Mustang, I should have like the head gasket started to leak. And it's like I'd wanted to have a car, so I just sold it. I probably could have maybe fixed it, and I could still have that car. Like I've thought about I've thought about like if I won the lottery, one of the first things I would do is like hire a private investigator to locate some of these. Mostly that Mustang, and probably that first Cavalier. It'd probably be those two. My first two cars I would try to track down and buy. Because I would love to have that for just nostalgia. Like fucking, I used to smoke so much weed in this car. Fucking, it probably still smells like it now. Like, I would just love to have those cars. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's hilarious. The idea of hiring a private investigator.
Because I looked into it, and you can't really look up.
What are you trying to find? A cheating spouse? A missing person? No, the car I used to smoke weed in.
It was a 2005 Chevy Cavalier, electric blue. You can see the front bumper's fucked up from when I hit my garage.
Nice.
Oh, the Mustang. I'll be able to tell if it's the right one by a secret spot that I could reach from the inside of my car where there was Velcro where I would hide my bowl bag.
Nice.
I had to plan that if I ever got pulled over, I would open the back door into the trunk and then reach up into this crevice and put my bowl so that they couldn't find it, maybe, even though the car reeked of weed.
And they wouldn't see all that motion in the...
They might not see them. I'd get low.
Right.
I'd get low
That was always hilarious watching. I don't know if you watched a lot of Cops growing up.
A little bit, but I don't remember much of it.
But it would always start like they'd be behind somebody driving. It was like be like pitch black. It was night, and like you're seeing the same thing they're seeing.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
there's a good camera like in the back seat right behind the cop. You're seeing what they're seeing. Yeah, we're seeing some suspicious movement on the passenger side. It's like you saw nothing move. There's not a chance you saw anything move. You just need a reason to pull these people over.
Yeah. So, that's why they pulled him over, because of suspicious movement? That's bullshit. Motherfuckers. Suspicious movement. I'm moving in my car.
Right.
Why is it suspicious, officer?
Exactly. Especially when you could not see any movement.
Yeah. I'm seeing some suspicious melanin on the driver of this car. We're gonna have to pull him over.
DWB.
Yeah. Oh man.
I don't know. Excuse me. Anything else?
I don't think so. No.
This is a short one.
Yeah, I guess so.
I got nothing
else.
else.
I mean, yeah,
maybe people will be appreciative of that.
You're welcome. It's your Easter gift.
Especially ending on a sad note.
Yeah, we're gonna die early. We're gonna come back in 3 days.
See y'all in 3 days.
Take it easy.